that sweater did not fit. And I'd be sitting here with Jabba the Gut hanging out all over creation. And that's not good for anyone. So I'm wearing my T-Rex sweater again. So... I didn't feel handsome in that sweater.
Okay, hello everybody.
Hey!
We're here.
Again!
Again. That's what I have.
Wow, good. Erin is feeling especially Christmassy tonight. You can tell because she's wearing a Santa hat and has nothing to say. God.
I put my comfy jammy pants on, so I'm done.
Yeah, I get that.
I'm not wearing a stinky sweater.
This sweater does not stink. I deodorized it.
Okay.
Doesn't stink. It'll stink when we're done filming.
Okay, well, that's fair.
Yeah. So we're sitting today by a cozy, crackling fire. Ooh. That's going to be really awkward if I can't put it in post. But that's us. We're awkward. And what are we, what are we doing today?
We're talking about Christmas movies today.
Yes, something that is especially near and dear to my heart.
Mostly, Elliot will be talking about Christmas movies today.
No, we went through, like, I have a whole collection of Christmas films and specials.
You have a whole collection of movies. Movies is...
Right.
Movies are your...
My spouse.
Okay, yeah,
Basically.
that's appropriate.
Yeah, so holiday movies and specials are like my favesies. So I pulled a small selection that Erin has also seen.
Or kind of knows.
Right, that we can kind of talk about.
Sure. And we hope maybe you hear about one or two you may not know. Or you could just fast forward and say...
Or you could just skip this video entirely. Because by now we will have gotten the view.
Yes!
So, in today's society, likes and views are all we care about, right?
I guess.
So you'll notice we've got Charlie Brown's Sad Little Christmas Tree here. You can't really see it because he's kind of getting lost in the,
But he's adorable.
in the darkness. We've got Clark W. Griswold from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. We've got The Ghost of Christmas Present and Ebenezer Scrooge from various adaptations of Charles Dickens'
Because you
The
could
Christmas
watch
Carol.
one of many or all of them.
Because they're all great.
Yeah.
The one that's most widely considered the best is the Alistair Sims one,
Yeah, I've heard that.
which I think is my dad's favorite, but it's not my favorite.
What's your favorite?
My favorite probably is probably Muppet Christmas Carol.
That's my favorite. I was going to say,
It's
because
so-
mine's the Muppets.
It's so good. It really is good. More on that later. We've got my gremlin. He's back. We've got a smaller version of Milady. She's solar powered. Usually she's doing that.
He's dancing.
And then we've got Rudolph and Hermie, the dentist elf from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. More on him. Really, more on all of this later. So yeah, we decked the hall with
Elliot's stuff.
with my toys, because that's all my life.
You know, I
is.
do have the Moose Cup.
You actually have the Wally World
Yes.
Moose mug?
I got it at a White Elephant gift exchange.
I love that. I love that. He's holding it in his Funko Pop. He's got his little eggnog
Yes.
moose mug. So yeah, what do we
Anyway.
want to, just want to...
Well, let's do this. What movies have you watched so far?
Oh.
And we'll start with those. Because I've only watched one.
So far this season, I have watched... I'm going to name the ones that aren't in my pile.
I know what movie we forgot.
What?
White Christmas. This is what happens when we plan.
Sort of half plan, half not plan.
Anyway, okay.
Boing.
What have you watched
So far, this season, I have watched... I should have grabbed my phone. That's what the list is. I've watched Batman Returns.
Perfect.
Because I don't care what anyone says, Batman Returns is a Christmas movie.
I love Batman.
Yes. I watched Die Hard,
Naturally.
which is also a Christmas movie. Yippee-ki-yay! I won't finish that line.
You can bleep that out.
We bleep it out. Like last time I was going to bleep out, and I ended up just censoring myself live. Die Hard, Batman Returns. I've watched Right Roll. I've watched White Christmas. Here it is. Probably can't see it from 12 feet away. We film everything that far because we look better the further away from us you get.
Oh my God, it's so true.
But White Christmas, it's so good.
It's my favorite.
That Mandy dance number, I cannot even.
Right? What?
It's so good.
I know.
There, she's Vera Ellen? Yeah, they're throwing her around.
I know.
You know, the one thing I will say about White Christmas, though, that it kind of bugs me, just as a movie audience member / director type, is Vera Ellen spends probably about 85 to 90% of every dance number staring at the camera.
Yes, she does. You are right.
Like she's beautiful and she's smiling and she sparkles, but she is spiking that camera.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sure she's using it as the point because she's spinning all over the place and she's got to have that point to lock onto.
Right.
But like no one else is.
No.
And in the second half of the movie where they're really rehearsing for
They're big.
their big show, it makes a little bit more sense because it is more like her practicing for an audience.
Right, but you're right. Earlier
But
on.
when you're dancing is the number that you really notice it because it's just her and Danny Kaye.
And she's just like, hi.
There's no one around. It's just them, their little romance sequence, and she's just like, he's like gaga over her, and she's like, hello, I don't even know who I'm dancing with.
I have some trivia about this movie.
Okay.
Do you know why she had to wear turtlenecks the whole?
Vera Ellen?
Uh-huh.
No.
In every single scene, she's wearing a high.
Yep.
They thought her neck was too skinny and wouldn't be appealing to audiences.
Interesting.
So that's why every costume she wears, she has like a turtleneck.
I was wondering because at the end, at the end with those gorgeous red dresses.
Yes.
I was watching the other day thinking Rosemary Clooney's dress is just so much more, is prettier than Vera's. But that's because they shoved a sort of thing on her.
Every single scene.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's also in this movie where they do the sisters scene, Danny Kaye and Bing.
Yes.
When Bing is laughing, that's the only scene in all of his filming where he laughs for real.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I imagine I would spend most of my time laughing, acting opposite Danny Kaye.
pretending to be women.
Well, I'm pretty used to that now. One thing that I always think is so interesting whenever I watch Bing Crosby, but it's so noticeable in this because, like, kind of the first thing you hear is, dreaming, just really low, rich, blah, 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 blah. And then the song ends, is like, all your Christmases be white. Okay, fellas, now we're gonna... He's got such a weird
do you know why that
voice.
is? I know why that is.
No?
Because he started singing and performing pre-microphones. So he used to be a tenor. He trained himself to speak so it would carry through auditoriums.
Interesting. It's shocking in this movie. Because it's White Christmas is so ooey gooey. And then, okay, fellas. That's a bit of an exaggeration. But he's got a very unique speaking voice. Says the guy who talks almost entirely through his nostrils. But so that's White Christmas.
I highly recommend it.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And it isn't in black and white for you black and white haters out there.
Right, it is. It was the first movie filmed in VistaVision.
Oh.
They say that right at the beginning.
Yeah, it's true.
And I don't know if that means first movie ever or first Paramount release, but it says first filmed in VistaVision. And it is 2 hours long, so...
It's a quick 2 hours, though.
It really is. It doesn't seem like 2 hours.
There's so much music in it.
Yep. And the dancing is outrageously good.
Yep.
I can't even process that Mandy number.
I always wanted to do the tap thing when she hits her toe and it just...
Yeah.
During
the choreography.
I tap for years.
I love that bit. The choreography number is so funny.
Yes, it is.
Oh, he's great. Danny Kaye, one of my heroes. So that's White Christmas. I suggest White Christmas. It's very, very good.
Okay, what? What else have you watched?
I've also watched Scrooged.
Like Scrooge.
Bill Murray, 1988.
And it is definitely an 80s movie.
Yeah, but it's sort of, it's like a timeless 80s
Yes,
movie. Like you get some 80s movies, and you get some like new movies that are taking place in the 80s, where like they're really hyping up like the crappy teased hair,
Yeah.
really 80s vibe. But this is kind of a timeless 80s. It's late 80s, so we're already kind of past the...
Well, the early 90s weren't much.
No, the 90s themselves were awful.
Weren't much better for fans.
But this was like that betweensies.
Okay.
And the thing is, most of the people in this movie are like professionals.
Yeah.
So they're wearing suits and stuff.
True.
But it's
I like that movie
so good.
much.
It's just wonderful. It's a retelling of A Christmas Carol.
Well, Scrooged.
Yes. And Bill Murray he plays Frank Cross. And one of the things that I just noticed like a few years ago, after watching this movie my whole life, basically, was in his little antechamber in his office.
Yeah.
There's a big wall art that says cross, noun, a thing you nail people to. I just think that's so hilarious. That's the definition of cross, a thing you nail people to. But it's like every adaptation of A Christmas Carol, there's some feels in it.
Yep.
There's some nice emotional moments, and it's really it's just hilarious and wonderful and delightful.
It's a fun take on A Christmas Carol.
Absolutely. So for people who are tiring, inexplicably, of the traditional Christmas Carol telling, Scrooged, I highly suggest.
Yeah.
It's only an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's not a long movie.
No, and it goes so fast. And Karen Allen is in it, and I just love her. She was in Indiana Jones.
Yes.
As Marion. She's just so cute and lovable and
It's a good movie.
Yes. Oh, and Carol Kane as the Ghost of Christmas Present. She is hysterical.
Really?
I can't even. You gotta see Scrooged.
Yeah.
I highly suggest it. It's so much fun. And one of Danny Elfman's best musical scores, in my opinion.
I learned a lot about Danny Elfman recently because I watched a documentary on Nightmare Before Christmas.
Ooh, okay. Did you know, feel like this was the movie, Tim Burton, who collaborates with Danny Elfman on everything.
Yeah, he's the one who made Danny Elfman start scoring.
Yeah. He and Danny Elfman had a lot of disagreements on the music for A Nightmare Before Christmas. And that led to Tim Burton's next movie, Ed Wood, not being scored by Danny Elfman. It's like his first, and I feel like only movie that is not scored by Danny Elfman, because they were kind of fighting a little bit. So, Scrooged. We digressed there into a different sort of tangent.
Well.
But yes, highly suggest Scrooged. Put him up there.
They're not going to be able to see these titles.
No, but it makes me feel good.
Okay.
What else have I watched? That might be it. We're only on December 4th. So I watched Last Christmas today. It's a Paul Feig movie. Came out last year. Emilia Clarke.
I have not seen that.
It's really good.
I heard good things about it.
Yeah, it's very good. And I know there's a lot of Paul Feig haters out there, but it's a delightful movie. So we won't chat too much about that because you haven't seen it. But that's a very, very good one.
What's next in our pile?
What else have we got in our pile?
I've watched one Christmas movie so far.
Well, let's go with a classic. This is the Peanuts Holiday Collection, but we're going to be talking about A Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown? A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Christmas, yeah.
Charlie Brown Christmas. Just, what do you even...
I watch that one on Christmas Eve with my kids every year.
It's so good. And it's 25 minutes.
Has anybody not seen that?
Well, probably a lot of young people haven't seen it. But it's delightful.
I love it.
Yeah.
We used to watch it on TV.
Yep. And Apple Plus, it's Apple's streaming service. They got exclusive rights.
Right, so now it won't be on network.
But because there was such an uproar, now Apple Plus made an agreement with ABC
Oh, good.
that ABC will also be able to show it as well. They've been showing it for the last 60 years, but now they'll be able to this year. But A Charlie Brown Christmas.
We digress.
We digress. Don't get me started on streaming.
That'll be another video, another time.
Yes, the death of physical media. Give me a break. It's just really, really great. It's a classic in every sense of the word. We won't talk too much about it because most of our viewers have probably seen it.
Yeah, because it's just our moms watching.
Yeah, pretty much.
And my sister.
Hey, Mom.
Hi, Mommy.
But yeah, Charlie Brown Christmas.
Make sure you watch it.
Apparently
on
watch
ABC.
It. On ABC, on Apple Plus, whatever.
I own it.
Or own the physical media.
You know, if you go to Walmart this time of year, you can get things like A Charlie Brown Christmas for like $3 in their bin.
Yeah. So look for that. It's great. And it's a sad Christmas. It's all wonderful.
Wonderful.
Charlie Brown Christmas. Boop. Speaking of classic specials that everyone has seen. Boom! You're a mean one.
The original Grinch.
Yes, the original animated special.
Which is
narrated by Boris Karloff.
Yes.
I love. And you know what's interesting? The guy who sings You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. Ravenscroft. Right now. That can't be right. Ravens something. He's the voice of Tony the Tiger.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And what's interesting to me is 9 times out of 10 when you hear You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch on a Christmas album, it's always a bass solo.
Yep.
But like when you hear it in the special, it's like just regular baritone voice.
Yep.
It's always like, You're a mean one, as low as they can sing, when really the dude is singing it like, You're a mean one,
Yeah.
Mr. Grinch. It's just regular singing. It's not a bass solo,
It's
but
creepier that way.
well, I guess. Ravens something. Golly.
You don't have your phone.
I don't have my phone. Darn it.
Anyway,
Yes.
this is my favorite Grinch. We watched the DreamWorks.
You didn't
Grinch.
like it?
I don't hate it,
I dug it.
but I like this one better.
What I liked about the new one, the DreamWorks one,
Mm-hmm.
the Illumination one, is that the Grinch wasn't like, he wasn't evil.
No.
He wasn't mean. He was just kind of sad and lonely, and he wasn't mean to his dog.
Yes.
He wasn't abusive to Max. Like, he actually really liked Max.
Yeah, and this one.
In this one and in the Jim Carrey one, he's just kind of mean to his dog, which is sort of like, oh man. But in the DreamWorks one, it makes sense that Max is loyal to him because he really likes him. He loves that puppy.
Yeah, and this one you're like, hey Max, just leave.
Max, just get out of there, dude.
You can walk to town.
Go down to Whoville. Jeez, oh. But yes, Dr.
Done.
Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Classic. Not much more to say about it. Watch it. I'm sure you can stream it somewhere.
I don't
Otherwise
know.
it's on TV.
The Illumination one's on Netflix.
Is it now?
Mhm.
But that one is also it's very worth a watch.
It is, and that's a full-length one.
Yep.
This is like a...
This is like 25 minutes,
Yeah.
an episode of television. The DreamWorks one, which I own, is like an hour and 30.
Do you like the Jim Carrey one?
I do and I don't.
Fair.
I watch it every year. It's part of my every year I watch. It's got really nice visuals.
Yeah, it does.
It's a pretty movie.
It is.
And I like Anthony Hopkins' narration.
Yep.
But yeah, some parts of it, whatever. But it's cute. I'd suggest all the Grinches, because they're just nice.
It's a good Christmas story.
Sort of space them out, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that one. Boop. More specials.
We're just pounding through the
These are in no particular order. But we got 5 technically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But like, nobody really remembers Cricket on the Hearth.
No.
No, so we won't really talk about that.
If I've seen that, it was a long time ago.
So we'll just talk about the big 3 in this special, which are Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, and Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Mm-hmm.
Now these are the Rankin Bass specials, these stop motion, or what was it?
Claymation? What is that called?
Animagic is what they called it back then. Animagic stop motion animation.
Basically.
Yeah, it's basically thousands and thousands and thousands of photographs of actual models.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, a lot of people, they don't make movies like this anymore. They just use CGI, which can look beautiful in its own right. Like The Grinch,
Yep.
the new DreamWorks one, is a gorgeous movie.
It really is.
But there's something about the stop motion, it's because it's real. Those are actual physical
yep.
avatars that they're moving around.
Yep.
And so I'm always so impressed by stop motion movies.
And it takes forever.
Forever. Like studio, like a studio. They're like the only people in the business who make stop motion these
I'm
days.
pretty sure that's a niche now.
It kind of is, yeah, because it's an expensive, time-consuming kind of thing, but it's so great. But anyway,
The only one of those three that I know I watch every year is Rudolph.
Rudolph. Rudolph is great. Rudolph we talked a little bit about in our last episode, like hilariously mean Santa Claus.
Eat, Santa, eat!
Really mean everyone. Like I can't get over how awful everyone except Clarice and Hermie, the dentist. Everyone else is just
I know.
mean. And Yukon Cornelius.
Yeah.
I love him. He is so funny. His stupid little felt tongue whenever he picks up his pick. I always want John Goodman to play him
Yes.
in like a live action.
Yes.
But
Match.
Rudolph, pretty much everyone's seen. It's hard to talk about these movies that everyone really should have seen.
You better Rudolph.
But it's wonderful. And actually I love the song There's Always Tomorrow.
Yes.
That's such a pretty song.
It is pretty.
That Clarice sings to Rudolph right before her dad comes. Which is her dad, Dasher, is he the coach?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I feel like
They're all just mean to Rudolph.
really, like, awful.
You have a glowing nose.
Yeah, and stupid fireball. Okay, dude, with your stupid little tuft of hair. Jeez.
Okay.
Sorry, I get really mad at... Jack Johnson actually has, and I don't know if his is the original, but he actually added a verse to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Where, like, he calls out, then all the reindeer loved him. Hey, they love him because he's useful now. And Rudolph is like, you all were like terrible, awful jerks to me. And he like berates them in this new verse. It's actually really good. I look up the Jack Johnson Rudolph the
Or
Red-Nosed
he'll
Reindeer.
post a link for you, like
Yeah, maybe I'll
last
do
time.
that. I'll embed it into the video like I did.
Fancy schmancy.
What else? Frosty the
Frosty.
Snowman. Now, Frosty the Snowman I don't love.
I don't either.
But I watch it because it's classic and they don't really produce Christmas specials anymore.
Frosty 2 is the worst.
Frosty 2 is terrible.
It was on Netflix for a while. My kids found it. And I'm like,
Like, the first one is kind of a tough sell. But the second one is really
it's not.
no good.
No, don't watch that.
But Frosty the Snowman, one of the things that I find so funny is that, like, this stupid little girl, I shouldn't say stupid, she's kind and sweet, but she just, in her shorts,
Yeah.
decides to travel. That's going to be a good idea if I go to the North Pole with this anthropomorphic snowman. I'm just going to go. Does she call her parents? Does she tell? No, she just gets on a refrigerated train and goes to the North Pole, a day trip,
With Frosty.
with Frosty the Snowman. And then is surprised when she gets sick.
You're wearing shorts.
You're wearing shorts. Whatever. I think that's so hilarious. And the bad guy is horrible because they steal his hat. They steal his hat. The kids are wrong. Like, in the movie, yes, his magic tricks fail, and so he, like, tosses his hat.
Right.
But then they just take it
Yep.
from him. It's like, you stole my hat. No, you threw it away. It's ours now. And then the narrator's like, the kids and Frosty were right. But they weren't. They stole his hat. And then when he wants it back, he's the bad guy.
Well,
Whatever.
we gotta trust
Moving.
the girls in shorts.
Girls in shorts in the middle of winter. Moving on.
Moving along.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Delightful.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one many times.
It's so good. And it's got a great song, One Foot in Front of the Other.
Yes.
It's awesome. And it's got a pretty good cast. Mickey Rooney as Kris Kringle.
Yes.
It's got Ed Wynn? No. Can't think of his name, but he plays Winter Warlock.
Yep.
He's great. Winter, if you please, when he turns into a good guy. Because he gets a present. He gets a little love and he melts. Oh,
Guy.
Santa Claus. And the bad guy, the Burgermeister Meisterburger, is hysterical. That accent that the dude uses it just kills me. Every line he says is wonderful.
So-
I've been bamboozled.
Do you get through the movie?
I get a lot of my Chekhov
No,
from
sure.
the Burgermeister Meisterburger.
Now we know where that came from.
Right. Not Russian at all. So not much more to say about those classic specials. Just find them, look them up. They're available on Blu-ray.
And kid-friendly.
And they're very kid-friendly. Although, sadly, kids might be kind of bored by them these days. All these years. But look them up. It's Fred Astaire is the narrator in Santa Claus Is Coming to Town too.
Talk about a dancer.
Yeah, right? Even his little stop-motion model is a dancer.
Well,
It makes sense.
it's kind of his thing.
The specials. The Rankin and Bass specials. Can't go wrong.
We should talk about Elf next, because they were the inspiration
Yes!
for Elf.
Elf,
I just-
I'll let you take the lead on Elf.
Well, I just watched a documentary about the making of Elf, and it was incredibly interesting, because a Jewish man wrote Elf,
Yeah.
which is just kind of funny. And
Barenbaum. Yep.
what's his name? Jon Favreau
Yep.
directed it, and it was one of his first movies he directed before he got all big and
Before Iron Man.
Iron Man and the whole Marvel
Yeah,
world, and now
MCU.
Mandalorian is this thing, and
Yep.
but he signed on because he was the one that saw the vision, like Rudolph. That was his inspiration for the North Pole.
Well, yeah, they have like the stop motion animals.
Yep.
Like the narwhal. And the
And he
penguin.
walks with the snowman.
Right, that soul, that bluesy snowman.
Yes!
Did they say in the documentary that Chris Farley was originally supposed to be Buddy the Elf?
They talked about Chris Farley, but it was not, they quickly realized that's not a good
Which is too
fit.
bad, because I think he would have been hysterical.
It would have been a different kind of elf.
I just love Chris Farley so much.
It would have been a different kind of elf, I think.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, Will Ferrell signed on before anybody else really did, even Jon Favreau. He wasn't a movie star at that point. I mean, this is 2000, 2001, 2002, early. God, that makes me feel old. Anyway,
Yep.
so yeah, I love Elf. It's one of my favorites.
Elf is fun. I avoided it for a while.
I know you did. And when you told me, when you first went here, I've never seen Elf, I was like, what?
Because I avoided it because of... I went through a phase where when Will Ferrell was making basically the same movie over and over and over again.
Fair.
So I was kind of like Will Ferrelled out.
Fair.
And so I just thought Elf would be a lot of the same. And it's kind of a... There's a lot of Will Ferrellisms in it.
Right.
But not as much as some of his like old school, that era.
Yeah.
And it really is. It's cute. It's fun.
I like it a lot.
Zoe Deschanel's in it, and she's
Yeah.
great.
Before she was known at all.
Yeah, she was just kind of a...
They hired her because she could sing.
Yeah, she's got a very nice voice. And James Caan
Which,
as the
okay,
dad.
so in this documentary
This
I
guy who's
watched,
like famous for
they
like
were
gangster movies.
all worried about working with him because he's like a serious, and they have Will Ferrell. Okay, in those scenes where he's annoying, where Buddy the Elf is annoying his dad, they would just keep running, and they take it, and it was just Will Ferrell
And it was just James Caan actually being
like,
annoyed.
shut up!
And Mary Steenburgen as the mom, and she's like
Yeah.
the sweetest person in the world. I love her so much.
It's just a good movie.
It is. It's a very fun. It's an easy watch. It
It
doesn't
is.
really challenge your expectations. It's
No, but it's-
silly and cute and warm.
Yeah. And the kid from A Christmas Story.
Yeah, he plays
Makes-
the foreman elf. Yes, that's right.
A little nod.
Little nod to A Christmas Story.
Anyway, when they made this, Jon Favreau set out to make a Christmas classic, and they all were like, oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, pretty easy just to churn out a Christmas classic, and he did.
he did.
It has become a Christmas classic, beloved by all. I think there's a stage musical.
Oh, we looked at that one.
Yeah, that one had like 40 people in it.
And you had to ice skate at one point. We were like,
I think we're gonna pass on that.
So instead we did a Christmas.
Send me the Christmas Story, which was 40 people. Basically the same, you just didn't have to ice skate. Jeez.
Anyway,
But yeah, I suggest Elf.
I suggest Elf.
It's a solid little Christmas
Yep.
movie.
And it's not a long movie either. It's
No, what do we got here? They hide the run times on these. 94 minutes, it's an hour and a half.
just- Yep.
You can do that. You can do that in about 90
And then you
minutes.
get some more stop motion.
Yeah. Goodbye, buddy. Good luck.
find your dad.
Hope you find your dad. That's right. I love that. Well, we'll move on to A Christmas Story then.
What is there to say?
Here's one thing to say. surprisingly few people have seen this movie.
I know, that's surprising to me.
I think people avoid
What
it.
year did this movie come out?
This was 1983.
Yeah, I was like, this
Good
was
year.
a movie that we just watched. And when I got into high school, my dad had all the Christmas Story figurines.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so great. It's iconic, and people actively avoid it.
I know, I don't know why. It's hysterical.
Yeah. And it's cute, and it's really
It's
warm.
heartwarming.
It's so nostalgic because it takes place. They never really tell you when, but it's obviously kind of in the 40s, and it's just wonderful. It's full of classic Christmas nostalgia.
And you probably say, people that haven't seen it will say lines from that movie, not knowing they're quoting.
Right. People who haven't seen it probably know 75% of the movie because it has entered the consciousness.
It's like Star Wars, like
Yeah.
you just know it.
You just know it. And people avoid it. And TBS and TNT, they play it 24 hours, back to back to back to back, starting Christmas Eve every year. And every year, even though I own it on Blu-ray, and by then I've watched it once or twice, I tune in and just let it play. I'm not necessarily glued to the TV every minute of it,
But it's there.
but it's on in the background. And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people avoid it, is because of those 24-hour marathons. So they're just like,
maybe.
they have a bad attitude about it. But you know what? Bad attitude? Watch A Christmas Story. I defy you not to just love it.
It's so enjoyable. It's just enjoyable.
Yep. The Pink Nightmare, the bunny costume.
Honey,
You'll shoot your eye out. Everything
the
about
leg lamp.
leg lamp. We ironically took her down for this episode.
She's here, dancing.
Oh, there she is. We got a little one. That's right. We introduced that.
So when we did the show last year, we got a lot of leg lamp things.
We
you and I.
were inundated with leg lamp paraphernalia. I got an awesome night light.
Yeah, that's slick.
That I have plugged in my bedroom. That one came from
The Petrix.
Harry Mary Petrick,
Mhm.
which I love it. I got the little solar one. I don't remember where. Did Katie Almers give me that one?
I don't remember. This was
No,
at the-
she gave us ornaments.
This was at the dollar store. So it came from, I don't remember. It might have been one of those like, wait, who is this from? And we never
Yeah.
figured it out. So whoever gave it to us,
Yes,
if you're
thank
watching,
you
thank you.
so much. I decorate with it. Got a couple ornaments. I got the old man action figure from you for Christmas, which I love. I put him up. He's over in the kitchen. But we were inundated with Christmas Story, and every single thing I got, I just loved.
I know.
So,
I put on my ornaments this year, like Ralphie holding the bunny suit. I was like,
yep.
I love this.
This is one of my favorite Christmas movies. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
It's so good. At any given point, I have Ralphie's hero theme
Sure.
playing through my head, and usually it's the hero theme that always ends with something going wrong. So
Yep.
it's like ba 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 da 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 ba 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 da da da. That's always going through my head. I can just.
You're just Ralphie.
I'm the old man and I'm Ralphie at the
Okay.
same time.
All right.
Christmas Story. If you haven't watched it, if you avoid
Please watch
it,
it.
stop it.
Just
Watch the
watch
movie. You'll love it. I'm gonna put that right there. We'll move on.
You're gonna put all of them right there.
Yes, and I'm gonna say that every single time.
Perfect. What's next?
What's next? Ooh,
You chilly?
that's nice. Woo. The Santa Claus.
We watched that one the other day.
I think I went to this. I think my family went to this one in the theaters when people could still go to movies in theaters.
Anyway.
I enjoy going to movie
The
theaters.
Santa Claus, yeah, that came out in the early 90s, right?
This one came out. You just keep talking all.
Well, it's one of the most quoted movies in my childhood home. Things like, Merry Christmas, we're getting the Disney Channel. Because back then, to get the Disney Channel was an extra package on your cable.
Yeah, the Disney Channel used to cost a fortune.
Merry Christmas.
So like in this movie when he says, Merry Christmas, we're getting the Disney Channel, that's actually a heck of a gift.
I think all of us kids were like, dang!
Like, dang, Scott Calvin, you can afford the Disney Channel. Holy
One of our
shalamola.
most quoted lines is, plain milk is fine.
Or if you're Peter Louders, plain milk's fine. We went to, it was a Chieftain restaurant
Yes.
in Carrington. And it was around, I think, who was with it? It was me and Peter, Nick, I can't remember. There was a woman there with us. Either way, oh God, he ordered chocolate milk and they
Yeah.
didn't have chocolate milk
Of course they did.
perfectly. And so he was trying to be Charlie from the Santa Claus and be like, plain milk's fine. But he was like, plain milk's fine. And the waitress was like, well, we could put some chocolate syrup in regular milk. And he's like, no, plain milk is fine. And it's, me and our lunch guests were like, Peter, you're saying it wrong.
Peter.
The waitress felt so bad.
Peter, you're like the sweetest kid.
Plain milk's fine.
Anyway, that's one of our moments.
Now they have hot apple pie.
We did.
Uh-huh.
So good.
The Santa Claus is such a good movie.
I love it so much.
It's so cute.
And it's heartwarming.
It's a Disney movie.
It's a father-son movie.
I can't find the date. They don't put the date on here, but it was like 93. It was early 90s.
Tim Allen's really young.
Yeah.
So
It's just...
I love it. If you haven't seen The Santa Claus,
I quote it all
constantly.
Like, we're not fighting. Your mother was singing. Sometimes it sounds like fighting. Cats even. Jim Allen at the height of his comedic chops.
Yes.
It's so good. The Santa Claus.
Join our quoting.
Seek this out. You will not regret it.
Now
if you
the
haven't
sequels,
Eh.
my boys like Santa Claus 3.
Is that the one with Jack Frost?
Yeah, because they think Jack Frost is cool. That's my least favorite.
He's cool.
Oh, that's my least favorite one. The second one's okay, but I didn't really like Jack.
I mean, it was kind of cool in Santa Claus 3 when they brought Martin Short.
I mean, Martin Short.
They reteamed Martin Short and Tim Allen.
Right.
Who starred alongside one another so hilariously in Jungle to Jungle. Do you remember that movie?
God, yes, I forgot about that movie.
Yeah.
Jungle to
I went to that
Jungle.
movie. I'm pretty sure I went to that movie in the theaters with Corey. But yeah, so it was kind of cool that they reteamed that.
Right.
But some of the magic, yeah.
I found it a little stressful. Like, wait, now we can't be Santa. Like,
Well, yeah, like this movie didn't need a sequel. That was kind of the point of this. Anyway, the Santa Claus, the first one, definitely check it out. You can skip 2 and 3. You won't miss much.
but some people really like them.
Yeah. I'm
It is
not
a
even
trilogy.
judge. It's not my cup of tea.
The first one, watch it. You'll quote it all the time.
Yes, and you'll love it. It's so...
Like that scene where they're walking, like early '90s rock music, and they're walking down the hall in the North Pole, and they're like,
that part is a little cringy. Because he's wearing like his shiny flight suit, and they're doing like the right stuff walk, and I think it's ZZ Top.
yes, and then it's all of a sudden they go,
And then they're doing like the bushwhackers from WWF. And that's a little...
the only thing I don't like
Cringy.
about the Santa Claus is the elves.
Elves. ELFS.
Yes.
That stupid...
That kid,
The lead
like,
kid.
he drops the lines,
He speaks entirely in his fry.
and then by the time it's like, elves with attitude.
Yeah, we're elves with attitude. It's like, give me a
When we
break.
watched that the other day, the boys were like, they're gonna save him. I'm like, ugh,
We're elves with attitude.
leave him in the jail.
Not
Goodness.
tinsel, not just for decoration. He's like trying to sing a Marilyn Manson song. The beautiful people, the beautiful people. Like, dude. And
Okay,
actually
but
now,
minus that part.
and in my old age now, I actually get a little uncomfortable when they tie the guard up at the
Yes.
jail, and Charlie shoves that donut in his mouth.
That would not be good.
It's like, dude, you're
They
shoving
kill that man.
That actor is going to choke to death because he shoves that donut in there.
Yeah, I don't love that sequence.
No, the ELFS. But man, when I was little, ELFS they were the coolest. I wanted one of those rocket packs.
Okay, who doesn't want to fly?
Well, at my age, where I'm at in life right now, I don't want a rocket pack.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I would like to be able to fly unaided.
Okay.
Like just like Superman, just have the ability of flight. But a jetpack, a rocket pack, that could only result in disaster. For me.
Things on fire.
Because I would try to do one of those cool ELFS flips. I'd light my feet on fire. Something would happen. I don't need a rocket pack in my life.
All that to say, watch the Santa
All that
Claus.
said, watch the Santa Claus, yes. Delightful. You'll love it. I'm going to talk about one that I had a complete 180.
Okay.
Prancer.
I don't think I've seen Prancer. If I did, it was one time.
I saw Prancer when I was little, when it first came
Sure.
out, and I liked it because when you're little, you'll watch anything.
Because mom and dad are letting you watch something.
Right, exactly. But man, then I got to that age where like Prancer was the worst movie. I hated it.
Were you what's the word I'm looking for? Distraught teenager?
No, please. It wasn't cool. I don't know what was wrong with me, because now was I cool? No. I was a bully's dream come true. Man.
That's why we're friends.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But Prancer, then in my adult life, actually just like fairly recently, 7-8 years ago, in my 30s, I watched it again, ironically, like, oh man, I'm going to watch Prancer, it's going to be hilarious bad. Oh my gosh, it's so...
Let me see the box.
It's so wonderful. Sam Elliott is in it.
I like Sam Elliott.
Cloris Leachman. Abe Vigoda. And the little girl, it's an introducing movie, and she's just like cute as a button. But it's so... The part at the end... Sam Elliott has like a little monologue. There's a little scene between him and the daughter, and that's kind of the point of the movie is this father-daughter relationship, where Santa Claus is kind of father-son, this is father-daughter, and it's just so good. And when there's that, during the scene, every year, it's like Niagara Falls, Frankie Angel, that's from Scrooged. But it's so sentimental and heart-wrenching, and I just love it so much. And Prancer, it's a really good movie.
I've not seen it, or if I have, it was a long time ago.
I think you should watch it. I think you'd really like it.
Probably.
And it's so good.
As long as it's not a scary movie.
It's not scary at all. It's maybe scary how heartwarming it is.
Oh, okay.
So if y'all have not seen Prancer,
Apparently we should watch it.
This one is highly suggested by half of the Clubhouse. So
I support the suggestion.
It's an hour and 40 minutes.
Oh, that's not a long one.
But it really doesn't feel like it. And Sam Elliott is just great. Really, I think one of the reasons why this resonates with me so well these days is that Sam Elliott and Rebecca Harrell is her name. She plays Jessica, the daughter. They remind me 100% of my brother Jared and his daughter Avery. And not that they have like a troubled relationship, but just like the gruff Sam Elliott and the flighty kind of, the little girl.
Yeah.
The little girl being a little girl, and it just, maybe that's why it resonates. Either way, it resonates, and I just love it so much. So Prancer, watch it.
Or don't.
Or don't. Like, we're not obviously going to enforce these.
How
but
would
if
we
you
do
don't,
that?
we'll hate you forever.
All three of you that watch.
Oh.
Which is our mom, so this is unfortunate.
What do you want to talk about next here?
I don't know what's over there, can't.
Let's do
Oh, John Denver.
John Denver and the Muppets, A Christmas Together.
Now, see, when I was a kid, we didn't have the movie, we had the cassette tape. And we listened to it a lot. It was my mom's favorite.
Like, what introduced me to the special was the soundtrack, was the cassette tape probably. But nowadays I have the album, the CD. And
You still have a cassette.
I don't have a cassette player anymore. Although that's probably coming back around. Everything old is new again.
We were reading a book recently and my kids saw cassette tapes. What are those?
Oof.
Oh, God.
That hurts. That hurts.
It's never a good thing. Anyway, so I love the music from this.
It's all just like classic Christmas songs, sung by John Denver and the Muppets. And John Denver is just great. I love John Denver.
I do too.
And I love the Muppets.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. You can't really find the special to watch. This is a bootleg copy. Like, you can get them on eBay where people are video on demand.
Oh.
But like, it's 1970s TV quality. It's not a polished product, but it's one. I think when I press play on this DVD, you kind of get that like, while the tracking of the sound,
Yes.
which people these days don't even know what tracking is. But it's...
If nothing else, listen to the music.
Listen to the album. It's wonderful. The special is fabulous, but you can't easily get it. You could maybe find it on YouTube.
Maybe, but I just grew up listening to it.
Yeah.
I think I still anticipate the next song on the cassette.
Oh, yeah.
Because we listen to it so much.
Yeah. The album is where it's at. If you can locate the special, it's more than worth your time. It's 50 minutes. Like, it was filmed as an hour-long TV special.
Can you imagine having an hour-long episode and only 10 minutes of commercials? Dang.
I know.
Hang
We
on.
have hour-long episodes with 0 minutes of commercials. So, there's that. But yeah,
Great.
John Denver and the Muppets, A Christmas Together. Either scour the internet, find a physical copy, find it somewhere on YouTube or somewhere, or just get the CD. I'm sure there's an LP these days. Those are huge now, records. But you owe it to yourself. Give yourself some John Denver and the Muppets. Now I'm putting a DVD on top of the Blu-rays.
You gonna be okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll continue with the DVDs. And actually, we'll continue with the Muppets.
Oh,
To my favorite adaptation of A Christmas Carol, minus Red and Gold, which we talked about last episode.
right.
The Muppet Christmas Carol.
I love this one. This is my favorite one.
You know,
The music is so good.
when I was in, I think, middle school, I don't remember which, 7th or 8th grade. This was back when 7th and 8th grade were just middle school. This was the version that the teachers would have us watch when we were studying A Christmas Carol.
I mean, does stay true to a lot of things.
Yeah, it's delightful. Michael Caine as Ebenezer Scrooge.
Oh, come on.
He's amazing.
He's so good.
And
And Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog. Aw, yes.
I can't even, I just...
And Miss Piggy is hysterical as the wife, as Emily. I
and
think
the
is
little piggies running around.
Belinda and I'm Belinda. She's Bettina. Bettina. I love that. Bettina is the other one.
Bettina.
Oh, Miss Piggy is so funny and everything. She's just great. But
the music, I love
music's
the
so
music.
good. Bless Us All.
Bless Us
It's
All.
such a good song. And actually, one of my favorite songs from the movie is the one song, the scene that gets cut. That's why I still have the DVD. This is available on Blu-ray, but I don't own the Blu-ray because they cut out one of my favorite scenes, which is when Belle sings When Love Is Gone. When she severs her ties with Ebenezer Scrooge. And it's such a heartbreaking scene, and Michael Caine plays it so well. It's so sad.
I can't believe they cut that.
They cut it out because there are no Muppets in that scene, and the genius executives at Disney thought that kids would be bored by it.
I don't care if kids are bored.
Yeah.
The adults are the ones watching this
Right, so they cut it out, and now on the Blu-ray it's jarring because Belle says her farewell, and then when the song is supposed to start, it just like cuts to the end of the song when she's walking away, and like Rizzo and Gonzo, who are narrating, Gonzo plays Charles Dickens, they're like weeping and like, it's like, what are you so sad about? That was hardly anything.
Song, it's
so good. So if you watch The Muppet Christmas Carol, I suggest watching
the
DVD where When Love Is Gone is in the movie. It's great. It's just a great adaptation.
I love it.
And it was like the first thing, it was the first Muppets project, I believe, that occurred after Jim Henson died.
Oh, I think you might be right.
And so like when Bob and Jacob Marley come as Statler and Waldorf when they're floating there, it's like, it's good to be heckling again. And the other one says, it's good to be doing anything again, because they had kind of been on mothballs for a while. So, Muppet Christmas Carol.
So good.
100% suggest. It's one of my favorites. But look for the DVD.
Don't lose that song.
Do not lose that whole scene. The
Oh,
song is
so
beautiful.
good.
The scene. Martina McBride recorded a version of it for the soundtrack, which is awesome because she's just great. But it's wonderful. Muppet Christmas Carol. Seek it out. The original. The unedited.
The unedited.
The
Thank
uncut.
you, Disney.
The director's cut. Yeah. Kids will be bored.
Kids could use a little boredom these days.
Yeah, right?
This is all you, dude.
You've not seen the Garfield. It's just called A Garfield Christmas. You've not seen this at all?
No.
Oh man, you've got to watch this. It's another one of those episode 20, 22 to 25 minute ones, and it's so wonderful. We watched this growing up every year, and we always got such a kick out of the first time they plug in the tree. Is everybody ready? They plug in the tree and it's lights up, and then it cuts to the family of humans, John and his parents and everything, and they all go like, ooh, I can't even do it. Ooh, except their lips are like, ooh, they come way out into a big ooh. My brother Jared and I always used to do that ooh whenever we turned on the Christmas tree at home. I love it. And It's Garfield. It's a typical Garfield
Sure.
special. He's sardonic. He learns the spirit of Christmas. Odie is adorable. But there's a scene in it that's kind of out of left field and is just really heartbreaking. The family is gathered around a piano singing this nice Christmas song, and Garfield notices the grandmother sitting alone by the window. And so he goes and he sits, and she goes into this like monologue about how Christmas was her late husband's favorite holiday and how she always misses him the most at this time of year, and the sad music is playing, and it's like this really, really poignant moment in an otherwise silly Garfield Christmas special. And it's beautiful, and it just comes out of left field, but it breaks your heart, breaks my heart every time. Garfield Christmas, I don't know how you can find this these days. I think you kind of have to look for the physical media.
I don't know, everything you can get digital.
Yeah, maybe. You can maybe find it on one of the 12 billion streaming
At this point,
platforms.
you might as well have full dish service.
You may as well just have cable with how much you're paying for the various different streaming services.
So true.
But I highly suggest A Garfield Christmas to you and to you. I think you'd really like it because it's cute and heartwarming and heartbreaking.
My boys would probably like it.
Yeah.
If there's new Garfield, you would hate it.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like the new
It
Garfield.
is definitely computer animated.
Yeah.
Like bad. You
Yeah.
know, like early, like the Mickey
Like
Clubhouse.
it looks like PlayStation 1 graphics.
Like, oh, it's not good. Anyway.
All right, we got 3 more for you. We've been talking for close to an hour already
I am
again.
so
sorry
sorry.
about it. We promise future episodes might be shorter.
I wouldn't count on it.
I wouldn't either.
because-
We get talking about Christmas.
Or not, really.
Yeah,
Anything
true.
we're interested in.
All right, we got 2 more.
All right.
What do you want to do?
Either one. They're both wonderful for different reasons.
Yeah, they're both different wonderfuls.
Yes.
We'll talk about National Lampoon's
Who has not seen this
Christmas
movie?
Vacation. One of the all-time classics. Pretty sure I went to this in theaters when I was a little tiny kid too.
So funny.
It is hysterical. I watched this one yesterday, and I've seen it probably 100 times.
Probably.
And it's always funny.
You just laugh. Like, I laugh. There are a lot of movies that I watch, you're like, oh yeah. And then this is one where you just...
This is a consistently funny movie. Even when you're little, when you're grown up, it is like all the vacation movies.
Yeah.
Really. They're just solid flicks. Another John Hughes, he wrote this one.
I love it.
And did you know actually that John Hughes wrote this and he wanted Chris Columbus to direct it?
Mm-hmm.
But Chris Columbus met Chevy Chase once.
I've heard not good things about Chevy
he's
Chase.
notoriously difficult. And Chris Columbus went to John Hughes and said, I need to work. I can't direct this movie with that man. And so John Hughes then wrote Home Alone,
Right.
put Chris Columbus on that, and Home Alone ended up making like 3 times the amount that Christmas Vacation did. So it worked out great for everybody. Because this is a classic. Home Alone is a classic. But Chris Columbus met Chevy Chase once, and he's like, I can't make a movie
I've
with this
heard
man.
horrible things about Chevy Chase.
Yeah, which is sad. I always hate when I see like, especially comedy actors.
Comedy actors, I know.
And like he plays Clark Griswold, who is like such a wholesome, hopelessly hilarious,
Yes.
paterfamilias type, and to know that the actor himself is just kind of a not great
not
guy.
a nice man.
Yeah, it makes me kind of sad. But you'd never know watching the movie.
My in-laws have the ornament of the Griswold house. When you hit the button,
Yeah,
it
it lights up with the hallelujah. Wonderful. Well, why is the floor all wet, Todd? I don't know, Margot. Todd and Margot, those poor, poor people.
Those Joe quotes Todd and Margot all the time.
I'm not surprised that Joe identifies with Todd and Margot. It's so hateful.
Oh.
These neighbors that hate one another, they're hilarious. And the aunt and uncle,
Yes.
Aunt Bethany and Uncle,
What's his name?
what the heck is his name? Not Leroy,
Can't remember his name.
but Bob Blessing. We really digress on all kinds of things there, but National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, it's so funny. The sled scene, I can't get over that sled scene. I love it so much.
On the metal
Later, dudes,
saucer.
let her rip. and he's gone with a trail of flame on the snowy hill.
And he doesn't stop.
He doesn't stop till he gets to Walmart.
Yes.
Crashes into the collection bin. Bingo. But yes, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is one of my absolute favorite Christmas movies. I highly, highly suggest it. DVD, Blu-ray, pretty sure you can stream it somewhere.
I'm sure you can.
Probably Hulu, I don't know why.
I don't know, I got rid of my Hulu.
Yeah. It's great. Actually, it might be HBO Max because it's a Warner Brothers movie. So
It's another thing.
Another thing to pay
Just
for.
buy the movie.
Just buy the movie.
Again, go to Walmart, go to the bin, it's like $5.
Yeah, buy the movie. Own it forever. It's like The Office is officially leaving Netflix now
I know.
in January. And
I
I'm just
know.
like, because I own it on DVD.
I own it on DVD too, but I like, no. What's our last movie?
We're going to have a streaming episode. We got to talk all this out.
We're not going to do that now. That'll be another hour.
And finally, I mean, I have like 40 other Christmas movies that I watch every year. But I just wanted to kind of get the ones that Erin had seen or knows about so we could
We're going to
actually
do 14 or 15.
converse. It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh,
It's a wonderful movie.
it's so good.
And it's interesting that it's considered a Christmas movie because
It doesn't have a lot.
90% of the movie takes place
Yeah, but
not on Christmas.
The most meaningful part
Right, see that's the thing, like the driving force is Christmas. Like the climax of the movie takes place on Christmas Eve. And it's about George Bailey, and I mean everyone, this is like a Christmas story. Even if you've not seen it,
You know it.
You know it. But remember, when we did It's a Wonderful Life, my first winter here, we were shocked and a little bit appalled at how few people had not seen It's a Wonderful Life. But even worse, there were a lot of people who had never even heard of it. You remember that?
Yes, but you have to see this movie.
Yes, it's a perfect movie.
It's so good.
I don't even know what to say about it because it
just
speaks
have
for
to
itself. It
watch it.
100% speaks for itself. You put this in, it's 2 hours and 10 minutes.
It's not a short movie.
No, but it does not feel long at all. Now, it was filmed in black and white, in beautiful, glorious black and white.
It doesn't feel.
It's so good. But on a Blu-ray, on DVD probably, in a lot of ways, you can get the colorized version.
But you don't need it.
It's a Wonderful Life. That's all I've got to say
You
about
just
it.
gotta see it.
You gotta see it.
Every time a bell rings.
An angel gets a sing. That's right. That's right. Jimmy Stewart is so good.
It's a really good movie. There's our plug.
That's our plug. It's a Wonderful Life. Watch it. Love it. It's amazing. So those are the specials and movies we wanted to talk about for this episode. There are so many more good ones out there.
Yeah, so comment movies you would suggest to us, although Elliot's probably seen it.
But hey, you can still comment. If you're looking for more suggestions from me, maybe I'll put like a list.
Yeah.
I'll put a list in the comments or on Facebook, on our Facebook page, so that it doesn't get like bumped, whatever.
YouTube is confusing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'll put a list of pretty much just the movies I watch every year, and you can cherry pick from that if you want. You can ignore it entirely. That's cool too.
But if there's a year to sit and watch holiday movies,
This is the year.
This is the year.
So yeah, I strongly suggest any of these that we talked about tonight, and I'll put a list on Facebook. That'll be fun for me to do. But I think that's all we got for tonight.
Remember, like our video, subscribe to us on YouTube, and you get notified if you hit the bell.
Now, to be able to subscribe, you have to have a YouTube account.
Yeah, but you can just use your Google login.
Right, so if you don't have a Google login, I say this because Mom texted me
Sorry, Cindy.
after the last video. She does not have a Google account. So if you want to subscribe, you got to have a Google account. So you can have a YouTube account, you can subscribe.
And then you can comment. We had some fun comments last time.
Right, because you can't comment without an account either, can you?
No.
No. So get a Google account, even if it is
Just
literally
to watch us.
just to do that.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, we do. So we'll have our third Christmas episode coming next week for you. We're pretty excited about that one. That one's really going to hopefully get you in the Christmas spirit.
It was all Elliot's idea.
Well, We'll see how it turns out.
Then if it was great, it was my idea.
Yeah, if it was great, it was our idea.
Okay.
If it was awful, it was my idea. So we will see you next week.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
In this world of doom and gloom, we wanted a fun place to go. So we went right ahead and started our very own online show. So if you're like us and in need of fun, don't just sit there and browse. Hop online and join us at the awesome new Clubhouse. Ho, ho, ho.